Sarah.
Whoa. Whoa, where'd he go? He just left. Whoa. Hello.
Yeah. Welcome
Wow.
to another exciting episode of We'll Fix It in Post, Old Ass Movie Reviews, where we review movies pre-1999 for free 99. I'm your host, Don Vega.
I'm Joe Sonnenblick.
He's another guy.
Here I am.
So, and we are in the month of May. It took us a while to get here.
Yes, it did. Yes.
You know, what are you going to do?
We got life. We got life.
But we got some good stuff. I think
Yeah,
I think
we
it's
do.
an exciting month. I'm actually very excited about this month.
Yeah.
I'm glad I thought of it.
I don't think you did.
Maybe, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We are reviewing today. We have watched today. I just finished watching today.
Me too.
This is your first time watching it or no? No, right? I assume you watched it a couple times.
I've seen this probably 8 or 9 times in my life.
Yeah. 1985's Death of a Salesman, starring Dustin Hoffman, John Malkovich, and 2 other white people.
Katie Reed, Stephen Lang, and Charles Durning, and John Polito, who, if you've watched Coen Brothers movies, Don, you'll know John Polito. And if you've watched Seinfeld, you'll know John Polito. Do you remember the episode with Joe Mayo? Who is Joe Mayo? Love me, kiss me, hug me, with the fur coat?
Okay, so which character are we talking about in the movie?
Howard.
The heavyset guy?
No, Howard. Willie's boss, who fires him.
I thought he looked vaguely familiar, but
yeah.
No, I couldn't put my finger on it.
He gained like 150 pounds. So, yeah, that's John Polito. Great. He was a great character actor, John Polito. Really good cast in this film.
Yeah.
So, I'll just do synopsis. Aging traveling salesman recognizes the emptiness of his life and tries to fix it. IMDb with the worst synopsis ever, because that's just not anything.
Kinda.
Yeah. So
I
the
guess
director,
they don't want to give away the ending or something. I don't know.
Well, everybody, like, it is the most lauded American play of all time. So it's probably, if you know this play, you know the ending. Directed by Volker Schlondernhoff. Don't know who that is. Looked him up. Hasn't really done a ton.
That's unfortunate. I thought he did a good job.
Well, you know what the problem with films like this is, and it's no fault. It's a television film. This wasn't a movie. This was a television film. So it premiered, I think, in '85 on CBS, if I'm not mistaken.
No shit.
Yeah, and Arthur Miller was there, essentially assistant directing most of it. So the trivia is Arthur Miller personally supervised the making of the film. Arthur Miller always pictured Willy Loman as a short, weak man with a booming voice. After 40 years, Miller got his wish after casting, and Dustin Hoffman called this his favorite acting experience, which I'll get into in a little while with what I feel about who I love Dustin Hoffman. I think he's a phenomenal actor. He's always been a phenomenal actor. We'll talk about why this isn't it for him, in my opinion.
Boy, I disagree already. Anyway,
that's fine.
This is I think our first
85 for sure.
Not
for sure.
Maybe I'm not 100% sure on that, but I was gonna say this is our first made for TV movie. We've never done a made for TV film.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I didn't know what the we never actually discussed any litmus or parameters on TV films.
Well, there
versus
so
theater.
We'd be watching the one with Frederick March, which is not great. It's okay.
That's 66?
No, that's 49, I think.
There was one in 1966 also. I forget who was in it, but I saw that on the TV screen for choices.
Really?
Yeah, when I spoke it into the television. Let's see. Death of a Salesman.
Oh my God! I'm just gonna talk to the television.
Yeah. It says, maybe it's just a recording of a Broadway play. It says Death of a Salesman, 1966.
With who? Lee J. Cobb?
Broadway classics, Lee J. Cobb.
Mildred my God.
James Ferrantino, directed by
We should have watched that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was available. We should have watched that one.
It's
Lee J. Cobb.
on Prime Video. You got to pay for it though. I probably would have found it
I
on
have
one of
Prime
my apps.
Video. I have Prime Video.
Yeah. So yeah,
Um.
that was a choice.
Okay. Well, this is the one that most people know and have seen. So I guess this makes sense to do this one because I first saw this in high school because I went to Frank Sinatra School of the Arts and they showed us this when I was like 14. And when I was 14, it really blew me away because I had read the play, but yeah, I guess as I've gotten older, I see Willie Loman a little differently, and I don't think it's Dustin Hoffman how I see him personally. That's personally, but go ahead, do your 85. What do you got for 85?
Yeah. So let's knock out some highlights. So the year of 1985 historical highlights. Israeli government confirms resettlement of 10,000 Ethiopian Jews. Fun. South African president
That's not
offers to
topical.
free. I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
What do you
Pretty
want? What do you mean?
Pretty.
I only watch television through my Israeli flag. Go ahead.
There you go. That's a weird way. Like with
Just
you poke holes in it.
no. I don't even have a television. I just
That's a
watch
weird thing to do.
no. I just watch an Israeli flag.
It's a hooded Israeli flag with holes in it.
No,
That's
it's
weird.
just I just watch. It's taped to my wall, and I just watch it, and I come up with my own theories.
There you go. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. South African President P.W. Botha offers to free Nelson Mandela if he denounces violence.
No, violence is good.
I mean,
It is
there you go.
sometimes. Sometimes you need it.
French foreign intelligence agents blow up Greenpeace boat, Rainbow Warrior, in Auckland Harbor, New Zealand, to prevent it interfering with French nuclear tests in the South Pacific.
What do you mean you can't?
You can't or you won't. Barbarian. You give me this fucking now, you barbarian. There was an earthquake. There was a volcano. President Ronald Reagan, Gorbachev meet. Let's see. Film and TV. Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis premieres on ABC. Capital Cities Communication Inc. acquires ABC.
Wow.
For $3.5 billion. First transfer of ownership of a TV network. The Golden Girls, starring B. Arthur, Betty White, Rue McClanahan, and Estelle Getty debuts on NBC. First AIDS-themed TV movie in early frost screens in US on NBC.
I remember
NBC had a lot going on this year.
I remember there was a movie about that kid Ryan White. Do you remember that when we were kids? Like the AIDS kid Ryan White. Do you remember him?
No, I do not.
They never did that in your middle school? Oh my God, that was a miserable week. Where we had to watch this fucking movie about this kid that got AIDS.
Don't recall. Charity Sago, We Are the World, recorded by Supergroup. USA for Africa, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, and then a bunch of other people. There's a documentary about that on Netflix.
Yeah, Bob Dylan, very high, not knowing what to do.
New York becomes the official anthem of New York City. Cool. Wham! Become the first Western pop act to release an album in China. Live Aid concerts held at both Wembley Stadium and JFK Stadium raises over $70 million for African famine relief.
JFK Stadium, where's that?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Michael Jordan named NBA Rookie of the Year in 1985.
Never heard of him.
Steve Cawthon runs aboard slip anchor at Epsom Downs to become the only jockey to win both the Kentucky Derby and the Derby. Sri Lanka saw their first test cricket. Russia, chess, yada yada. Born in 1985. Mohammed bin Salman.
I bet is he bad?
He's the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Gotta be bad.
He's the best guy around. What murder?
Fun. Yeah.
Actors born in 1985. Only women on this list for some reason.
That's good.
All white except one.
All right, name them.
David Cuoco.
Kaylee Cuoco.
Cuckoo. Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah, not a great
Lana
year.
Del Rey.
Ugh, yucky. Poo-poo.
Keira Knightley.
Whatever. She had a
Gal
moment.
Gadot.
She was Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
And that didn't work out.
It's just because the movie sucks. She was fine.
Yeah, well, her career's over now.
Well, you know, what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Sierra.
She's married to Russell Wilson, I believe.
She is.
Yeah.
Okay, musicians.
Ciara. Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey. Ashley Tisdale.
I don't know who that is.
Leona Lewis.
Leon Lewis.
Leona Lewis.
Leona Lewis. I don't know who that is. I wouldn't have known if it was Leon.
R&B soul. Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, Call Me Maybe.
And Bruno. Is that who that is?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Bruno Mars.
Cocaine.
Small, half Puerto Rican man.
Boy, he's got a gambling problem and a cocaine problem. I've only got one.
I need to hit the stage, man. I need to do backflips. They're going to break my legs. Athletes born in 85. Lewis Hamilton.
F1.
John Eisner.
Tennis.
Michael Phelps.
Swimming and pot.
Luka Modric.
Football. Real Madrid.
Brittany Lynn Kickhome.
What?
Golf.
Oh.
And Cristiano Ronaldo.
Never heard of her.
People who died. William Lyons.
Bill.
Konstantin Chernenko.
Connie.
Enver Hoxha.
Any.
E.B. White.
E.
Actors who died. Margaret Hamilton.
Margie.
Orson Welles.
Or.
Phil Silvers.
Foe.
Ricky Nelson.
Rick.
Yul Brynner.
Yul Brenner. I guess I'll just go you.
And Rock Hudson. He died.
Closeted gay. Row.
Did you see the it was on Netflix, I think. It was a show, America, it was Hollywood Land or something like that.
The movie?
It was a show.
I saw the movie Hollywood Land.
There was a show either called Hollywood or Hollyland or something to that effect. And the star was something Corn Sweat. He's the guy who's going to be the next Superman.
Corn Sweat?
Yeah, his name is Corn something. And there was another guy playing Rock Hudson, talking about, when he was closeted gay man. I mean, closeted is like a loose term. It was just like a mind your business gay man, really.
Yeah. In the closet with a glass door.
Yeah, everybody knew.
Yeah.
Anyway, musicians. Eugene Ormandy died. Roger Sessions, dead.
Roger.
Ricky Nelson, dead. Athletes. Eddie Shaw, dead. Roger Maris, dead. Harry Hoffman, dead. What else do we have here? Daryl Strawberry got married that year. Reggie White got married that year. Rolling Stones artist Ronnie Wood got married that year.
To a kid.
Who got divorced?
She was.
She was
really young. Oh, well, maybe there was another one somewhere in there.
Probably. He was 37. She was 29. She was a British model.
Huh.
Yada, yada, yada. Famous people in 1985. Okay. Grammy for Album of the Year. Who won that?
1985?
Yep. World leaders: China, Deng Xiaoping; France, Francois Mitterrand; Germany, Helmut Kohl; Britain, Margaret Thatcher; Russia, Mikhail Gorbachev; and America,
Ronnie.
Ronald Reagan.
Who won Album of the Year in 1985? Bruce
Okay.
Springsteen?
Who won Sports Person of the Year?
Michael Jordan?
No. Oscar
Roger
for Best
Maris because he
Actress.
died?
No.
Wait a minute.
Oscar
You're
for Best
doing a lot.
Actress.
You're doing a lot, brother. Hold on.
Oscar for Best Actor.
I know. Relax, okay?
Find out one of these, please.
What year did Amadeus come out? Was I don't know. 85 was Best Picture Amadeus?
Yeah, I swear to God, it's the last fucking time I'm going to tell you this. It's the last episode I'm going to have to repeat myself. They do not tell me what the best picture was of the goddamn year. It doesn't happen. It never happens on this specific website that I look at every episode.
Well, I think it was Amadeus because I'm pretty sure it was F. Murray Abraham.
Wrong.
He didn't win Best Supporting Actor? Isn't that what you said?
I never said Best Supporting Actor. I said Best Actor, Best Actress.
Did he win Best Supporting Actor?
I don't know. It's not in front of me. I'm telling you what's in front of me. 4 things.
I don't know who the best. Well, no, he did. It was F. Murray Abraham for Amadeus, 1985. Salieri, he won.
For Best Actor, 1985.
Yeah, F. Murray Abraham.
You're wrong. William Hurt, Best Actor, 1985.
Oh, Kiss of the Spider Woman.
Whatever, I don't care. Geraldine Page, Best Actress, 1985.
I don't know. Okay, they're fine.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Sports Person of the Year, 1985.
All right.
Lionel Richie, Grammy for Album of the Year, 1985.
It's when he All Night Long probably sang that to people.
I don't fucking care.
Okay, get to the movies because 17 minutes is just too much to look at you.
Let's see. What are we watching? Oh, this isn't going to have any grossing because it was a TV movie.
No, it's a TV movie.
See,
I wonder if it won any Emmys, That's something to look at. Or Golden Globes.
Interesting. Okay, there were on this list 191 movies. The bottom of the list is Colonel Reddle. You ever heard of it?
Never heard of Colonel Reddle.
Made $2,357. It only came out in one theater. Set during a fading glory. If we're gonna do a worst of the year list, one of these months, that's gonna be fun. Set during the fading glory of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the film tells of the rise and fall of Alfred Reddle, an ambitious young officer who proceeds up the ladder to become head of the secret police, only to become ensnared in political deception.
That sounds awful.
This was 2.5 hours long.
Well, that sounds terrible.
Jesus. Yeah, made $2,000, which means the people that made it probably showed up. What a bummer. Let's see here. What else we have? Okay. Don't really see. I mean, there's plenty of movies that I recognize.
Okay.
The Terminator, what was this, a re-release? Oh, no, it's because the Terminator came out in 84, so it was still playing in 85.
Yeah.
So that's
I don't know.
I recognize.
Okay, so I guess Amadeus would be up there.
Weird Science. Amadeus, what number would you say it is? I'm looking at it right now.
7.
No. You nuts?
It won. What are you going to blow loogies into the air?
I've been suffering really terrible allergies for like the past 3 days. It's been
crazy.
Why?
You're a barbarian.
He had 2.5 teeth at best. This crackhead that called me a barbarian on the train. It was so rude.
2.5 teeth, but one powerful insult.
Because he couldn't call me a stupid ass because he didn't have enough teeth to make the S sound. So he had to pick an insult with a buh.
And you know what? But he knows that. That's what's so
Yeah,
important. He knows the comedy and the thought that it takes to call you a barbarian. So
yeah,
he really won. You couldn't say anything back. Impossible.
yeah.
Impossible.
Anyway, how much money did Amadeus make? You think?
40 million?
51 worldwide. 51.565.
So was it in the
And
top 10?
no, nowhere near.
It wasn't even in the top 10?
Not
Wow.
even
Because it
close.
won every award that year.
I don't see how.
Well, it did.
I
F.
mean,
Murray
it
Abraham,
made a lot of
Milos
money, I
Forman.
guess. But see, here's what doesn't. Why? Oh,
Uh-huh.
you see, these lists are always so confusing because
You're an idiot.
no,
No.
well, yes,
Yeah.
but okay, grossing. Is it telling me from the bottom or from the top? What are we doing here? Anyway, Amadeus is at number 26.
Okay, you made it like it wasn't even in the top 100. Okay, 26
It
is pretty good.
grossed 31 million domestic and 50 something worldwide, which means that movie sucked.
$50 million in 1985 is a lot of money.
Sucked. Uh, we're gonna do the top 20 movies in 1985. Spies Like Us. Have you heard of it?
I have.
Two bumbling government employees think they're U.S. spies, only to discover that they're actually decoys for nuclear war. Who's
Yeah.
in that?
Chevy
What is
Chase?
that? Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did blackface. Number 19, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
It's okay. It's good.
Jagged Edge. I never
No.
actually Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I don't mind. The original Mad Max is don't mind. I think personally, Tom Hardy's that Fury role was just overrated to me. I
No,
don't get it.
everybody liked it. I never saw it. I never watched it. Everybody said
I
it was
don't
really
get why
good.
people liked it so much. I don't.
I don't know
It's a lot of booms and pows and explosions.
Well,
Sure,
there's your
that's
answer.
it's not boring, but it's like it's not compelling either.
There's your answer. Booms and pounds.
So Jagged Edge 18. What's that?
I don't know.
A wealthy woman is murdered in her beach house. The husband is allegedly knocked out first. He inherits all. He has a female ex-criminal prosecutor represent him in court.
That sounds awful.
It sounds very convoluted. Too many words in that description. E.T., the extraterrestrial, 1985 re-release.
That's fine.
Brewster's Millions, number 16.
It's okay.
What's that about?
Richard Pryor, he comes into Millions. He's like a regular guy and comes into Millions. It's okay. It's okay. Kind of funny.
So he just had to be a millionaire and shut the fuck up. That's the premise of the movie. Okay. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Don't like. I'm never. Not a Pee Wee Herman guy. No, I'm never a Pee Wee Herman guy.
Number 14, Pale Rider.
That is Clint Eastwood. It's his Man with No Name stuff.
Mysterious preacher protects a humble prospector village from a greedy mining company trying to encroach on their land.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one. I don't know if I've. I mean, they all sort of start to blend into each other.
Co-starring a red chair. Get off my lawn. The Breakfast Club, number 13.
I love The Breakfast Club. Nobody can tell me any different. Oh my
Never
God, it's so good.
Yeah,
So angsty and emotional.
I'm fucking dying. The Mask. Well, not The Mask, sorry.
Mask.
Just
Mask.
Mask.
Mask is good. Mask is good. Eric Stoltz, Sam Elliott, Cher.
Oh, is this one with Cher?
Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
A teenager with a massive facial skull deformity and a biker gang mother attempt to live as normal a life as possible under the circumstances.
Yeah, really excellent.
I do remember that movie. Wasn't that based on a true story?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. National Lampoon's European Vacation.
After the first one, I didn't need any more. Thank you very much.
A View to Kill.
Never saw it.
Fletch.
I don't like Fletch.
Police Academy 2, their first assignment.
Again, the first one, okay. Okay. then you just whatever you fuck.
The Goonies, number 7.
Very good. Goonies, very good.
6, Witness.
Witness, is that what Harrison Ford with the
It
Amish
is
kid?
about protecting an Amish boy who was a
Yeah,
sole witness to a brutal murder and his mother. A detective is forced to seek refuge within their community when his own life is threatened.
it's good.
His life was threatened by Amish people.
Yeah, I mean they smell.
That's different. Number 5, a movie that I have seen a million times. I don't know why. This was one of my favorite movies growing up, and I saw it so many times. Cocoon. Really love that movie. With all the old people,
Yeah,
that were aliens.
it's okay.
I don't know why. I absolutely adore that movie.
I mean, they made a sequel to it that was also just kind of okay.
Yeah,
It's
they had a couple
okay.
sequels. There was like Cocoon 2 and 3, right? Some
I
shit
think there
like
was
that.
only 2. I don't remember a
Um,
3.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. But yeah, they did have sequel, and
Yeah,
it was something that I watched a lot.
yeah, that was fine.
Number 4, Rocky 4.
The best Rocky in all of the Rockies, in my opinion.
Are you a Rocky fan or no?
No. But that is the best one
This
because
is the
it's
one with
so Drago.
Drago. Yeah.
Because it's so silly. Like you finally figured out that this is not real good shit, and you should have made the other 3 like this, but you took it so seriously, and now if he dies, he dies, and you kill Apollo Creed. It's very funny. So
You
just
don't
off that,
think you don't like Sylvester Stallone's writing?
it's
You don't think he's a
minimal.
good
I
writer?
mean, it's minimal. I don't know. It's not my. I respect his grind and what it took for him to make the original Rocky. He sold his dog.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me. It's not. I don't think it's like I don't like that good versus bad shit, and it's a morality tale, and the
Yeah,
good guy
yeah. It's
wins. I'm not a
very
fan.
simple. Yeah,
Yeah,
very simple stuff. But I've always liked the Rocky movies, right? I've
sure,
always liked them.
sure.
I'm sure obviously there's ones that are better than others.
Yeah,
But
4.
yeah. So and the best one of course obviously would be the one with the street fights. Was that Rocky 5?
The AIDS guy died of AIDS.
Fucking blonde mullet guy. Yeah, that
Tommy
crazy nut.
Morrison. Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Morrison. He burned hot and quick.
Yep.
Um I've always liked the Rocky movies. I don't remember the Rambo movies. I know I've seen them, but I can't act like it's something that's holds true to my memory. But I saw this documentary about Sylvester Stallone. And he was going over his life. I think it was on HBO,
Mm.
and
It
I,
was called
obviously
Sly,
was
right? It was
biased.
called Sly.
Yeah, it was really good. That doc, really good
Okay.
fucking doc. And I was like, you know what? He really I felt to me, like I said, he really did something with that series. That is like
Look,
it's a very grounded script. You know what I'm saying? They're very grounded.
I respect the fuck out of his grind, and I
Yeah,
respect the fuck out of what he did. And I think he's made some really good movies, unintentionally, some of them, but like
yeah,
Copland is a really good movie.
yeah.
Um, I think Judge Dredd is a really good bad movie.
It's a good
Um,
movie. I fucked with it.
yeah, all right. He made another movie called Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, a really good
Yeah.
bad movie. Over the Top is a really good bad movie. Um,
What's the one with the where
the
he's a
Arm
gangster?
Gangster.
It's a comedy also. That one's funny. Kind of a comedy musical. It didn't do well. It bombed big time.
Are you thinking of Johnny Dangerously? That's not him.
No, it's not Johnny Dangerously, but they both had. It's like the same fucking movie practically. Um,
Gangster
but
musical.
it was like maybe it wasn't a musical, but it was a comedy. Uh, let's
I'm
see,
looking.
because that's
I'm
gonna bug
looking.
me.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Cause yeah, Demolition
Uh,
Man, another like good bad
Oscar,
movie.
Oscar, Oscar. His name, the movie was Oscar.
Oh, I
It's a
remember
comedy.
that.
Yeah,
Cliffhanger, another good bad movie.
yeah.
Um, he's
I
made
liked.
good bad movies.
Yeah, he's made great terrible movies. I liked. Have you heard of it?
See, that's funny.
What was it? Tunnel? You remember that one?
Tunnel? No, I don't remember
They
Tunnel.
got stuck in one of the. They got stuck in one of the tunnels. It started flooding and shit in New York City.
Yeah.
Good.
That's funny. Your pain is funny to me, Don. It's very good.
Daylight. It was called Daylight.
I don't remember that one. I remember his really bad remake of Get Carter. That was really bad. He's made some real stinkers, but look, I got to give the guy credit for making the best out of a bad batch because I don't think he's a very good actor at all. And he did his
again. I think maybe the doc because I never gave it much thought about his. Well, did you see Tulsa? I enjoy Tulsa.
That just looks like Standing Tall. That just looks like the same movie. It's a show.
It's corny. It's corny, but in like the best ways. I enjoyed it because it feels like a throwback. It's good to see a guy his age still kind of doing what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
You know who's coming into my store this week on Saturday to do a book signing? Speaking of throwbacks and guys that made a career out of just doing one thing, Tony Danza.
No shit.
Yeah, and I love Tony Danza. Give me some Tony Danza. Yeah. Okay, so what number were we at? 5?
That was at number 4, which was Rocky 4. Okay. Now with the top 3. You want to take a guess?
No, I'm not going to be good at 85. No, I can tell you. Well, it's just going to be weird for people.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
Number 3, Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
Okay. All right. It's fine.
Out there getting money that year.
Yeah, it's
Number
fine.
2, Beverly Hills Cop.
You know, I used to love it, and I've watched it again recently, and it's not as funny. It's still okay.
But Beverly Hills Cop was never the funnier one. There's always Part 2 that was better, actually. That's the one that people actually remember, is Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah, I guess
the first one, but it's not.
I guess so.
That's the one that actually sticks out in people's memories, Beverly Hills Cop 2. Anyway, Back to the Future, number 1 movie in 1985.
Not for me. I get why people like it. I do. It's just not something I.
Let's see. What else is on this list? Teen Wolf, number 23.
Teen Wolf is awesome.
That was another Michael J. Fox, right?
Oh.
Yeah. We should also do a month of awful sequels, like ones that are just downgraded, like Teen Wolf 2 with
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Never seen it, but I love Jason Bateman. I would love to see that, just see what happened.
We could do Staying Alive, which is the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, directed by Sylvester Stallone, starring John Travolta, which is one of the worst movies ever made.
Absolutely, I would love to do bad sequel month.
I would do that. That's a July. That could be a July thing for like summer.
Junkie sequel July. So
we gotta get your friend in.
Junk Drawer July.
Junk Drawer July. That's good.
Junk Drawer July. The Jewel of the Nile, that came out in 1985.
Was that Michael Douglas? Jewel of the Nile.
Boy, I can't see the poster really.
Jewel of the Nile.
Yeah. It says when Joan Wilder is abducted while on a trip along the Nile, her boyfriend Jack Colton and pal Ralph rush to rescue her.
Yeah, it's Danny DeVito.
Action adventure comedy.
Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas. Yeah, I remember that. I don't know how many times I watched it.
Cauldron. That was an animated film. I remember that one.
I remember that.
Pretty good. Porky's Revenge.
Didn't need more than one
Care Bears movie. The Care Bears movie, which is a movie I watched also a million gazillion bazillion times.
I never was a Care Bears guy.
Love Care Bears.
I'm sure you do.
Love them.
You definitely look like a man that loves Care Bears.
Well, you know. Death Wish 3. Number 58.
Again, how many guys raped this guy's wife that he needs to go out and kill everybody? After Death Wish 1, it's kind of your fault, Charles Bronson. Protect them better.
You're all gonna die.
Yeah.
You're all gonna die.
Yeah.
King Solomon's Mines.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. What else? Nothing else really looks familiar. Oh, Dune, 77. Dune came in at 1985, number 77. Return to Oz. What's that?
They went back to Oz.
Dorothy, safe from a psychiatric experiment by a mysterious girl, somehow called back to Oz when a vain witch and gnome king destroy everything that makes the magical land beautiful.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with
Couldn't
the
put that
actual
on the
Wizard
list.
of Oz. Well,
Couldn't put that on the list.
I don't know if that was bad.
I mean, it made $2 million
That doesn't mean anything.
opening. It made 11 million grossing worldwide. I just do not know this. I'm gonna actually.
Oh, it's like a weird
It's like a dark twist on it.
avant-garde. Yeah,
Return to Oz.
yeah. It's like Klaus Nomi. Yeah, it's like a weird.
Oh, this does look familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seems creepy. It seems like it was creepy.
yeah, probably
Oh,
creepy.
it's on Disney Plus also. Fantastic.
Well, I mean, Disney Plus is putting a lot of creepy stuff on recently, so that's fine too. Yeah.
All right, and then we got Crush Groove that came in at 82.
Wow, Crush Groove.
Haven't seen
that in a long time. Okay.
Color Purple.
You know, The Color Purple really needs a jazzy soundtrack. Yeah. Oh, man. Boogaloo Shrimp. No, that's Breaking 2. Breaking 2 is Electric Boogaloo is the Boogaloo Shrimp.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't recognize anything. Look at me.
All right, the movie. Let's do the thing. Death of a Salesman from 1985, television movie. So I wrote, this is the quintessential American play about wanting more, being pushed out, feeling that the times are leaving you in the dust. Willie Loman is the sad sack everyman who, after the war, was expected to be something better than their father, and how things are dictated is through your position in your company and your wallet. Don is just left. So, you know, Happy is sort of caught in the middle as the youngest, looking up to his brother, who looked up to his father, but now the whole world has changed. And I'll talk about Hoffman later, because I have a whole thing with Hoffman here. The idea of sameness, walk in with a big laugh, don't look worried, start off with a couple of good stories, lighten things up. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, because personality always wins the day. This is a big theme of Arthur Miller's work. What should have been as opposed to what is. All these losers telling you if this had happened, if that had happened, if this big theme. A View from the Bridge is like that. The other play that just all My Sons is like that. Malkovich is a master in this film, really working hard as a young actor here. Really working hard.
I think this is the youngest I've ever seen him in any film.
And he's not even that young.
I don't have a strong or a deep dive on Malkovich films. Anytime I see him and stuff, it's always like, oh, there goes him. But
he's supposed to be
this
playing.
Is the youngest I've ever seen his face. You know what I'm saying?
He's supposed to be playing 34. He was 32. Okay, so he's supposed to be playing 34. He's 32. Katie Reed, also fantastic as Linda. I found Julia Ormond one of the best Lindas opposite Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'll talk about that later. A lot of dreams and plans. I think calling something a television film will always make it seem hokey, like it's not good enough. Which I don't like that it's called a television film, personally, because they should have said.
Well, it was a film that was on television.
Yes, but they should have said staged for television, not a television film.
Okay.
This is shot quite well. This is yeah. Well, it is. This is shot quite well.
It's shot excellently.
It's
when in the opening scene, when he walks in, you know, from nearly crashing his car off the side of the road. He
Mm-hmm.
walks into the kitchen with the wife and they're doing the talking and yada yada. Then he goes into his monologue and walks outdoors. He's having his daydreams and his delusions.
Mm-hmm.
And then the camera pans up and we see
There's no.
there's no roof. And I was like, oh,
It's a play.
we're doing something else. I was like,
It's a
oh,
play.
holy shit. This is a fucking play. We're doing a
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, we're doing a play.
I was very excited when I saw that. I was like, oh, this is going to be fucking
Well,
awesome.
because they want you to know.
Which was the fucking opposite feeling that I had
Don't
when
play
I
a sheep.
watched that goddamn
Don't play a
Melvin
sheep.
Van Peebles. Oh my God.
Well,
that was a nightmare compared to this.
This was a little less avant-garde, of course, than Melvin Van Peebles'
Just
Don't Play a Sheep.
Ever so slightly.
This felt like, so I don't know if you know this or not, but the play on stage has a set. Arthur Miller in his stage directions and his set can't be changed. Like it's a 2-floor set. Biff and Happy's bedroom is upstage to the right. Downstairs is the kitchen, and then the outdoors is generally like the backyard is generally like left upstage center or right upstage center, left upstage center, I should say. And he wrote, it cannot be changed ever. So how the set is, the movie took liberties, and I think Arthur Miller was okay with that because it's not being seen on a stage. So the movie took a little more liberties than the play. If you do this play, if you get the rights to do Death of a Salesman, you have to keep the set the way it is, or you can't do it, which is unbelievable. That's never happened in theater before, ever. So it's pretty crazy that that's even allowed. The monologue the monologue Biff has about 50 weeks for a 2-week vacation is the monologue I used to get into Frank Sinatra. I did that in high school. One of the greatest American monologues ever. The walls like a stage, as I said, great effect. And then when Dustin Hoffman goes upstairs and is talking to his wife, is he feeling her up? Did you notice that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I never noticed that. I never ever, because you know it's Dustin Hoffman's been accused of, right?
No.
That
Groping people?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Sorry for you. I know that when I come back here, all I've done is waste my life. And I think that's a Biff line. And I think that's an important line after the war, how these young men were feeling after the war, having to live up to their fathers. And in this case, there's nothing to live up to.
Remind people what year is this movie is taking place in again? Was the year we're set in?
I believe the play is supposed to be 49. I believe. Death of a Salesman. 49.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got heavy connotations of the war, and heavy connotations of having to be something, like I said, like being in your father's shadow and escaping that shadow or being crumpled by it. The importance they put on marriage and business success is a wild thing. How heavy that must have been for people. I mean, it's still heavy now, but I feel like it's less heavy. Like, people don't give a fuck if you get married, and people don't give a fuck if you have kids, and people don't really give a fuck what your job is. They really don't.
Not at all. Not interested.
Oh! You dress your testicles up as little puppets and make money on the subway? That's great. That's great.
Cool, man.
That's great.
Cool,
Just don't touch me.
What does that
Just don't
do
touch me.
How does that affect your taxes exactly? Break it down for me.
Yeah. Just don't look at me. Happy is part and parcel his father. He's a womanizer. Biff is an altruistic idealist, and it takes a powerhouse youngster to go ahead and play opposite Willie. And I don't mean against Dustin Hoffman. I mean against that character, because Willie Loman's lines, some of Willie Loman's lines, still are the best lines in the history of theater. So much meat on these bones. And even Biff and Happy and Linda have lines where the meat is just so rich. And that's why I'm not saying that anyone could be Willie Loman. I'm not saying that. But you have such a leg up with this material, such a leg up, where even if you toss in like maybe a little average performance, it's an above average
It's hard
performance.
to fuck up. Yeah, it's hard to
It's
fuck
hard
up.
to fuck this up. Like you
Yeah.
would have to be really, really bad at this to fuck this up. There's also a dementia factor going on a little bit with Willie here,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yes, he has early onset dementia. That's
Yeah.
clear.
And there's also been theories that, I mean, an Arthur Miller, I guess, is never answered, and he can't because he's dead. That Willie is already dead, and this is purgatory.
Yeah, I can see that too. I kind of let that pass through my brain at
But
one point
but
because
listening,
of the whole interactions with his brother and stuff like that. His brother, uh, to me, yes, purgatory, or it's like, well, we'll get to it. But at the end of the movie, he kills himself, obviously, right, so that his family can get the insurance policy. But it seemed like his brother, who was the ghost that he was talking to throughout the movie, was trying to
get him to kill
convince
himself.
him. Like, he was trying to convince him not to kill himself
And then
for
it
a
was just
while.
like, well,
And he was like, "Well, I wanna, I guess."
Yeah.
And that was as is the theme of this movie. Him trying to be chasing after his brother, who was this big hero and adventurer that he looked up to, and he could never really
Yeah.
be.
Um,
So
Willie,
yes, purgatory, kind of, sort of, but like I
Could
think
be.
it's more so like less purgatory, more. You can either go into the light or go back onto Earth, depending on what decision you decide to make here.
but I think there's a great documentary on HBO when Arthur Miller was still alive that was done by his daughter Rebecca Miller, called Arthur Miller the Writer Presents, or the something like that, the writer something. And he's such a straight shooter and such a just like New York thinker that I don't think he thought of this philosophically. I think this was, I'm writing a
Yeah, straight
play
to the point.
here. I'm trying to write a play here. Willie is a shit talker. He's the anemic one. His sons aren't his sons in that they are built like someone else completely. And Willie knows that he's Bernard. Willie knows that he's the anemic one, you know?
Bernard is the cousin that lives next door.
Yeah. What do we owe? People don't seem to take to me. Listing all his foibles, I cracked him right across the face because I will not take that when he's called a shrimp. That gets him. Like I don't really like movies that are very straightforward to the point in the titular sense, like Death of a Salesman. But you are watching The Death of a Salesman, and in theater, there's something called the suspension of disbelief, and you can get away with certain things. But this is so melodramatic and on the point, on the nose, that you are seeing the end of a man and the end of his family. And it's not even snappy. It's just like car crash after car crash they're all going through. It's so painful.
This gave me, and obviously, what is this? This is 85.
Mm-hmm.
And the one with a woman, what was that one
Woman
again?
under the influence. Yeah, Woman under the influence.
Woman under the influence was what year? That's 70 something?
74.
So I can imagine that I see parallels in the acting of Dustin Hoffman in this, and the kind of, because it's telling you that he is not the most honest, upstanding
He's a piece of
man.
shit.
That he's kind of an asshole,
He's a
right?
piece of shit.
You can see that he's put his hands on his wife before. That's he's kind of quick to recoil and
The cheater.
put his hands up to her. He's a cheater. And
he gaslights everybody.
He gaslights he's like in, I'm sorry, what's the name of the movie again? A Woman
Under the Influence.
A Woman Under the Influence. The guy's name was
Nick Longetti.
The actual actor.
Oh, Peter Falk. Columbo.
Peter Falk. Yeah, I knew I was saying Falk in my head. So yeah, Peter Falk where I had the theory that he was gaslighting everybody, right? Because it was like, it's either they're both nuts,
Well,
or he's
yeah.
just. My theory was that no, he's an abuser, and he's gaslighting throughout this whole movie. That's what he does.
No,
That's what a
I
narcissist,
know, but
right?
the more I think about what you said about Nick Longetti, I think he's just
Yeah.
nuts.
It could be a column B, but like I said, the parallel to this movie, it's on the nose, like you said. It's on the surface and it's on the nose that this guy
Yeah.
is a gaslighter, a liar. He's low on himself, and he picks on anybody
Drags
he can. He
everybody
thinks he
down.
can get
Yeah.
away with. Yeah, he has a very short fuse, but he's like in a downward spiral throughout this whole fucking movie. And this takes place over what, 24 hours, if that.
No. It takes. So if I remember the stage play correctly, I could just grab it over there. But if I remember the stage play correctly, it does take place over days. I think like 2 or 3 days.
Doesn't feel like it because he
I
comes
know.
home, he
I
has the
know.
whole monologue. The next day, the
I
kid is supposed to have some meeting thing
But then
with the
there are
guy.
flashbacks, because when John
Right.
Malkovich is wearing his little
Yeah,
sweater
those are
there,
flashbacks. Yeah. Those are flashbacks.
so I don't know. I don't know. I'll just look it up. But I don't know.
It might be. It could be a couple of days. It could. It could. It could not be. But it felt to me like he came in the middle of the night. Someone was crashing his car. Got into it with every fucking body. The next day, the kid set up a meeting with the business guy, and then that evening he offed himself.
Yeah.
So I feel like it
It's
was 24 hours.
2 days. 2 days.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so you said you saw parallels to
Oh yeah,
Nick
yeah. So yeah, those
Falk.
parallels from Falk and Hoffman's performance. But like I said, Hoffman's performance was much so more on the nose and on the surface. There
Yeah.
was no really nuance to whether or
There-
not he was just losing his mind or he was a narcissist. It was definitely both. He was losing his mind and he's a narcissist.
Okay, so you know what? Let's save the performance for the end because I got a lot to say about Hoffman's performance. Let's just go through it. We'll go back to Hoffman's performance because I could really talk about that, and we will. I cracked him. Yeah, the other woman makes her first appearance in the hotel room. Willie's supposed to buy her stockings, or give her Linda's stockings, as we find out, which is unfucking believable. That's a great little twist, great little moment there.
Crazy.
And I wrote, I believe next to Stanley Kowalski in Streetcar and Theodore Hickey in Iceman Cometh, this is the most beloved part for an actor in the history of American theater, Willie Loman. Charlie offering help and Willie rebuffing him because of his hubris and pride. A man who can't handle tools isn't a man. You are disgusting. What a fucking line that is. What the fuck? I was remembering some of these lines, the way Philip Seymour Hoffman said them. And there were moments where I just burst into tears because I'm not even watching the movie. I am, but I know, but I'm just in the last row of the theater in 2012. I'll never forget it. In the last row watching this, it was like a fucking, like a super, that was an eclipse. That was the Aurora Borealis, what I was watching that man do. I never saw anything like that in my life. And we'll talk, I'm starting to cry again. What do you say? Charlie offering the Ben Charlie Willie dialogue is such an epic tome. Wow, is that a heavy tome where they're going back and forth, and Ben is telling uh, uh, Willie about Africa and all this fucking and Antarctica and all. I went into the jungle at 17. I came out at 21 a rich man. Like what does that even mean? It doesn't even mean anything when you really get down to it.
Nothing good. I don't think anything good.
Yeah. It's a must do. You have to do. You always have to be something. And then Charlie has a great line. The jails are full of fearless characters. What a great fucking line that is. And then Willie has another great line in I still feel kind of temporary about myself. Whoa, daddy, is that a fucking powerful line? And then all this happened in his mind before the cheese stuff. Because he was talking to Linda about the cheese that he wants on his fucking bread, and then all the shit happened, and then he's right back to the cheese.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then Linda has a great set of lines here. Oh, my dear, you should do a lot of things when she's talking to Biff. A man is not a bird to come and go with the springtime. Oh, God. Attention must be paid.
Mm-hmm.
Really powerful. That was what they used for the Philip Seymour Hoffman. That was the tagline on television. Attention must be paid. And it definitely needed to that. Are they any worse than his sons? Just such powerful. Borrowing money from Charlie to turn around and find his sons, one philandering bum, and you are, my dear. He's been trying to kill himself, running himself off the road, deliberately smashing into bridges, length of rubber pipe to kill himself with. This is 1949, brother. This is like the heaviest shit you could put on Broadway at the time. Hey, everybody was doing Ziegfeld Folly still and dancing with little fucking shells and shit. Yeah, a lot written is meaty. This is perfect and so crisp. Believes in his sons, but is this manic depression, you think? Is it like because he's yelling at Linda while he's talking to his sons? Is this like mania, manic depression, bipolar disorder? Is it just a nervous breakdown? Is it just stress?
It seems as though it's not the first time that he's got into it with Biff, right? But him and Biff know what the beef is. They're the only two that know what the actual problem is between the two of them, right? So there's that. But it does seem as though this dementia thing is a new chapter, even to Biff. He's like, when the fuck did this shit start? So he starts talking to himself and going off at the handle. It's like, yeah, he's always been a dick, and kind of an asshole, and I know why, and he knows why. But this is a new thing to it. Like, even the personalities switching back and forth seems to really confuse Biff. Obviously, Happy has been there back in the house longer than Biff has, so he's not he just kind of goes along to get along,
Right.
Don't rock the boat and shit. He's he's coasting, being a mooch and a loaf. So,
but he's got a job. Is he? I mean, he's not contributing, but he's got. I guess that's fair. He's not contributing.
Yeah, he's doing whatever the bare minimum is that he's doing, or whatever, Anyway, yes, it seems like this is a new chapter in William's life.
So you know what? They didn't even call it dementia back then, did they? They called it senility.
Yeah, you want to see now, yeah.
Right? So like they didn't even know what it was. And it's like him shuffling.
No, yeah.
Him shuffling around in the backyard.
Doing random things. He's chipping away at paint on the window pane at 3:00 in the morning. He's just doing crazy shit, and that's just is what it is, And obviously the mother's seen it so it's been going on quite some time for everybody who's been in the house. It's new to Biff, who has not been in the house very long.
Yeah. Walk in with a big laugh when Biff is saying he's going to go meet Russell or Oliver. What was the guy's name? Oliver. Oliver. He says, walk in with a big laugh. Personality always wins the day. And as they're going back and forth, he's telling Linda to shut up. He's like almost hitting her. Yeah. And then he sort of does hit her. And Biff says, stop yelling at her. And Willie says, what do you want to tell me? Like, you motherfucker. What do you want to tell me? And then he hits Linda and he says, they have office boys for that.
He raised his hand.
No, he puts it. He puts one. He puts one on her arm. I think. Like.
Oh, he kind of like taps her.
He puts one on her arm a little bit. And then They have office boys for that. When he says, if he drops something, don't pick it up. You
Yeah.
know, remember that. You got all kinds of greatness. And then the start of Act Two, because then the Act One ends, and this is the start of Act Two. And Act Two is like a fever dream at the very beginning,
Yeah.
It just feels like it's kind of smoky. It feels like film noir almost, the beginning of Act Two. And then Howard, then there has the meeting with Howard, which is arguably some of the greatest lines in the history of American theater. Howard treating Willie like he treats Linda. Howard interrupting Willie, and then Howard saying, "You didn't crack up again, did you?" So this is a recurring thing now, even at work for Willie Loman. He's cracking up all the time. And then you've got to admit business is business.
Mm-hmm.
When Howard essentially fires Willie, saying we don't want you to go to Boston. We don't want you to represent us. Every scene of Willie failing is much harder than the next. Telling stories instead of changing with the times. And then a great set of lines. He died the death of a salesman in his green slippers on the train from Hartford going into New York. Great line. And then the line that always gets me. You can't eat the orange and throw the peel away. A man is not a piece of fruit. It's maybe the
Yeah.
most important line in American theater. It changed American theater. I don't want you to represent us. Not knowing where the door is a great fucking choice by Dustin Hoffman. What
He
a
made so many good
fucking
choices.
great choice there.
Yeah.
Really, really great choice. Pull yourself together, kid. There's people outside. And this is Howard talking to Willie. And Willie going back and forth with Howard, telling him things about his father. And, this is what I named you. Who gives a fuck? Like none of
Mm-hmm.
it matters. Willie talking to no one, acting sort of crazy in the street, and then this big reflection of the building. So that was really inspired by George Gross and German Impressionism and the movie M, because the building is on this like weird slant in the window, and it like takes over the whole screen. So like, it's supposed to be like business taking
Mm-hmm.
over everything. And Bernard is lapping his sons in life, and Willie is losing his grip on everything. This is when he's in Charles's office. Why did he lay down? Bernard asking Willie, why did Biff give up? It just
Yeah.
failed math. He could have went and did this. He could have went and did that. Why did he give up? Willie knows. No one else knows, but Willie knows. And my salvation is that I never took interest in anything. Great line from Charlie. What kind?
I think maybe Bernard might know. And that was him kind of pressing him on it. I think he knows. I think maybe Biff might have confided in his cousin. I think Biff's and his cousin's relationship was actually probably closer than than Biff and his own brother, actually.
Yeah.
And because Bernard was like, yeah, man, it's like he went to go check you out, and what was it? Where did he go? To Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just came back fucked up. What the fuck happened out there? He just wanted him to own up to it, you know. Yeah, I think Bernard might have actually knew what
Could
actually
be.
did go down.
Yeah, I never thought of that. It could be. Because I don't remember who Bernard was in the Philip Seymour Hoffman version, but I'll get into that too because I didn't like him. Why did he lay down? Biff, myself. Yeah. What kind of job is a job without pay? When are you going to grow up? Is what Charles says to Willie. When are you going to realize that doesn't mean anything? You named him Howard. Big deal. You can't sell that. Oh, what a great
Mm-hmm.
line. And then Willie has the line that really propels you forward and lets you know what's going to happen. And Charlie then knows. You end up worth more dead than alive. And Charlie gets that look on his face. That, oh my God. That, oh my God. And then Charlie has a great response. Nobody's worth nothing dead. Great. The lines are just so harrowing. I don't think the acting is the best in the world, but it's got the thing where the work supersedes the talent. We talked about that, and we will talk about that. Oliver walked away from Biff after making him wait for hours. Biff takes his fountain pen because he's a devious mind. Biff does not like the idea that someone thinks they're better than him.
He's also a kleptomaniac, as it turns out.
Yeah. Everybody sort of goes through their hardness in this restaurant. Happy is a lying whore, Biff's a loser, and Willie's a babbling lunatic with no job. Willie going through a nervous breakdown, and Biff is lying, so he calms him down, say, I'm going to meet with him tomorrow. I'm going to do all this with Oliver tomorrow. And then Biff says to the girls, you know who you just saw there? A hardworking, underappreciated prince. Biff produces the rubber piece of piping. The flashback now where it all ends for Biff. Biff flunks math, finds out about the other woman, and Biff has a serious panic attack and a nervous breakdown, finds out his father's a scum, changed his whole mentality, changed his whole world. I mean, was Biff on the right he was going to go to summer school, you think, right? Until he saw that.
Yeah. Then he's like, fuck it, what's the point?
Yeah, if I can't believe in my father, what am I here for?
Good question.
Yeah. You gave her mom stockings. Big stuff. You fake. He keeps calling him a fake. Spitting all over him. A moment, I don't know if I... Yeah, okay. Here's some more. I don't need this anymore. When Willie's giving the waiter the money, puts it on the table, and the shot of the waiter putting the money back in Willie's pocket is particularly heartbreaking. Particularly smart. Because that doesn't happen in the play. The waiters just take it.
Really?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. That was a good choice. And before Willie leaves, he asks about the seeds and where a seed store is. And as he's walking out, I don't know if you caught this line. He says, I don't have a thing in the ground. Great line. I don't have a thing in the ground. Telling his brother that he's planning on joining him, talking about the insurance policy and such. Biff comes to tell Willie that he's leaving. To hell with whose fault it is. Let's just wrap it up. And Biff wants the clean break. He's wanted a clean break. Willie just won't ever give it to him. He can't, and Linda won't give it to him either. Because without the nuclear family, as it were, without the dynamic that all four of them are in the house, they all feel empty without each other, I guess. And they would just be better off as strangers, these people. Biff just wants a clean break. You're going to wish me luck, Scout? And then Willie says, may you rot in hell if you leave this house. And Spite, keeps saying Spite. Now, and he goes, now hear this, Willie. This is me. And then he lists all the things he's done that were horrible. He stole champagne. He did. What am I trying to become? What I don't want to be. I'm $1 an hour, Willie. Ugh. There's no spite in it anymore. And there's the line, I'm a dime a dozen and so are you. I am not a dime a dozen. I am Willie Loman and you are Biff Loman, which doesn't mean anything. Really. To us it means something, but to them in the moment it means nothing.
What movie did we watch recently where there was a huge exclamation of, I'm not nobody, I'm somebody? One of the characters, one of the main actors, had a huge breakdown in the movie that we saw. It's escaping me.
I don't know.
Because that's what it reminded me of, but I couldn't put my finger on.
I don't even remember what we've done. Think about that. Wait, let me go back and see. Raising Arizona. Was it
I don't think so. I don't think it was
Well,
Raising Arizona.
certainly not The Watermelon Woman. It's not A League of Their Own. It's not Black Girl.
Huh.
Was it Do the Right Thing? Mookie.
No. Oh, it might have been Do the Right Thing.
Where he's like,
Uh,
no, because it's not Color Me Dead. It's not Fresa y Chocolate. Not Weekend. Maybe Bicycle Thieves. No.
it was a big. It'll come back to me. It'll come to me. It was a big epic scene. It might. Maybe it's something that I watched on my own, and it's not. Maybe it's not
Yeah,
in our list.
yeah. Ben takes the wheel now. The voice guiding him to death, and Willie's bye-bye. Very good bye-bye. Willie hits the road, drives off, and dies. Funeral scene. Why didn't anybody come? Why didn't these people that said that they loved him and cared about him come? The boss didn't even show up, you know?
Yeah.
I can't understand it. He was so wonderful with his hands. He's a man way out there in the blue, smiling and waiting on a shoe shine. When they don't smile back, it's like an earthquake. Great line from Charlie there. I made the last payment on the house today, and there will be nobody home. What a fucking crazy line that is. We're free and clear. We're free. Curtain. I wrote curtain, but credits. Okay. I gave it a 3.7, and I'm going to tell you why.
Holy shit!
I'm going to tell you why.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you why. It's because of Dustin Hoffman.
You don't like Jews?
I love Jews. I'm for the Jews. But
Gotthard.
yeah. My buddy Eric and I were talking about this when I put up that we were going to watch this. He's like, weird choice. I was like, I know, but it fits. He's like, and we both agree that Hoffman does this Jewy, nebbish thing too much. And Willie Loman is a strong man that is being broken down. He doesn't start as a weak man that is being broken down. He's a strong man. Look what he produced. He produced Biff and Happy, who are generally played by muscular cut actors. So I love Dustin Hoffman. I think he's one of the finest ever.
To argue, I have not watched any of the other versions of this play nor film or anything. But based on what you just said, I would gather that whoever directed this film, casted this film, wanted to push out the point that everybody in this film is full of shit, top to bottom.
Sure.
You know, so that's kind of the point. Hoffman's character William thinks he's a big strong man, but he's actually not. He thinks his boys are big, strong, successful boys, but they're actually not. You know, and the same thing with the wife. Everybody's kind of pushing this idea of themselves that doesn't actually truly exist.
Right. No, and I do understand that. And Arthur Miller said he wanted to cast somebody like this as Willie Loman, but I don't know. For me, and I'll tell you why. And I said it throughout this review. Philip Seymour Hoffman, for me, is Willie Loman. I can't not see it. I can't not look at it anymore and just see. Before, it was Lee J. Cobb. And I always felt like Lee J. Cobb was Willie Loman. And I saw the one with Brian Dennehy, and he was very good, but he just didn't. There was something wrong. He didn't have Willie Loman. And I saw the one with Frederick March, and he ain't Willie Loman. But Philip Seymour Hoffman did things.
You saw the one with Wendell Pierce or no?
No, I didn't get to see it. I'm gonna hopefully get to 66th Street and just tell them I'm working on something, so I could just go in and just watch the recorded DVD of it. Disgusting. I could, and hopefully
that'd be interesting. I would like to get into that.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Yeah.
I'll just tell them I'm doing Death of a Barbarian.
I'm his cocaine dealer.
Yeah. But there was one moment where, towards the end of the play, where Willie and Biff and the other woman where Biff finds out that Willie is having the affair. Philip Seymour Hoffman did something I've never seen in my entire life. He shrunk like an inch and a half without moving. And it wasn't lights, and it wasn't anything. He shrunk like an inch and a half and didn't move his body. And I never saw anything like that. And I waited for him. After it was February, this is when I was dating Maureen. I was waiting for him, and I made this poor girl wait out in a very, very bitter cold. I was like, I gotta ask him. And he comes out way later than everybody else. And he was like, you want me to sign something? I said, no, I got a question for you. I said, when you found out, or Biff found out about, the other woman, you did this thing where you shrunk without moving. How'd you do that? And he just looked at me and goes, you like that, huh? And got in his car and left. And I never, Hoffman could do anything he wanted to do. I once saw him in Othello at the Skirball Center at NYU. He's playing Iago. He comes riding up, sweatpants, sweatshirt, on his bike, takes out 2 slices of pizza, eats them, bang, 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 smokes 2 Camels. 15 minutes later, he's Iago. I never saw a human being be that so much that did it surprise me when he died? Yes. But also, no. Because there's a pain that you have to put into this thing that you do. And I think Dustin Hoffman has it because he's really played a lot of great roles. And that's why you don't see him that much anymore. They also tried to cancel him because of that show Luck with the horses. And the booby touching. With the horses, there were 2 horses that died on the set of that show. And they just stopped the show. And I just, very good, very good. The fingers make it funny. I just don't. Dustin Hoffman's not my particular Willie Loman. He's just not.
So, like I said, I had no background on this. I'm sure I read the play at some point when I was a kid. I'm sure I just don't remember it at all. But my rating, I gave it a high rating. But it's when you got all the other performances that you've seen, and especially seeing it compared to Philip Seymour Hoffman, I can only imagine it pales in comparison. But that's not really a fair comparison.
No, it's not. It's not. So, when I was in high school, this would have gotten a 4.8 easy. Easy.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 4.7, 4.8. Yeah, that's why I'm throwing that. This was mesmerizing for me. This was it was good important. Fodder for the imagination. It was important. I feel like I'm trying not to be I'm not being facetious, but I'm trying not to be like
a jerk off.
A jerk off over the top. But this feels like I just watched something kind of a little bit mind altering for me, right? Because a lot of people don't know that I'm on my own writing journey, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a burgeoning writer myself, and I'm working on my own stage play based on my life. Parts of it. And so like I said, as soon as the camera panned up and I am now shown that we are on a stage, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Here we go. Because that changes completely changes the dynamic of everything.
Yeah, it does.
Because now not only does the viewer know we're on a stage, but now I know that the actors are kind of acting. Actors don't act the same on stage as they do on film.
No, they don't.
There's a different level. You know what I'm saying? And you got fucking Dustin Hoffman opposite John Malkovich, which was just like mind blowing. And then, the mother. And
Katie Reed is
great. The brother
great.
was just there. The brother was just there. He was good comedy.
Well, I think the happy role is generally, I don't want to say weaker.
Relief. He was there.
I just don't want to say weaker actor because that's not fair.
It's not
Um,
weaker. He's the comedic relief. He has a role to play. He's the punching bag, and he's the one that he's
yeah,
the comedic relief that is kind of still being the straight man, because you're getting these really brutal, harsh jokes being thrown at these two sons. You're a
yeah.
bum, and and you ain't got it's really volatile, but it's funny as shit. You
I
actually
mean,
laugh out loud. It's very funny.
do you understand that Lee J. Cobb did 752 performances of this?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Can you I just did a monologue to get into high school, and I was fucking drained. I
So
can't.
the last time you say so the last time this was on stage was
2000,
Hoffman, or was it
2000. No, no, no,
or
no,
was
no,
it
no, no,
Wendell?
no. Wendell Pierce.
And that was when?
Last year.
How recent? Oh,
Last
last
year.
year.
Last year.
So is this still playing? Is this still on Broadway
No,
right now?
no. You'll know when it's on
Oh,
Broadway. You'll
I'm
know
gonna
when
check
that's on
out whenever
Broadway.
whatever the next rendition is. I'm absolutely gonna have to check
So
that out
you want to
because
hear the revival? The revival's really good too. So revival was George C. Scott, who was Patton. Did you ever see the movie Patton?
no.
Okay, George C. Scott is like Lee J. Cobb 25 years later. Almost the exact same person. And Biff was James Fiorentino, and Happy was Harvey Keitel.
Huh.
Yeah. And
You know who could do William right now? Harvey Keitel.
Willie, I don't
I'd
know. He's
be I'd be I'd be
85. He's
I'd be interested
85.
to see that.
No, he's 85. He's too old. He's aged out of it.
You think so?
Yeah, he just turned 85 the other day.
He looks good.
You know who could do it right now?
So we're gonna do the recast right now. Let's jump into it.
Okay, go ahead.
Who you got?
I mean, I have to have a Broadway actor. So it can't be. It's somebody I know that can carry this in a way where it makes a lot of sense. See, my casting is going to be a little off. Okay, I can't even believe I'm say this. Bokeem Woodbine is going to play Willie Loman.
No, that's not a little off at all. I love Bokeem Woodbine. He's extremely underrated as an
Yeah,
actor. He's
Bokeem.
one of the best actors of our generation.
I
He
agree.
really fucking is.
I agree.
It's
Bokeem
not even
Woodbine.
being facetious.
Bokeem Woodbine's going to play Willie Loman. Linda is going to be Edie Falco from The Sopranos.
Edie Falco from The Sopranos.
See now I have to. Now I got to get real weird with it.
I'm also going not white for mine.
Well, Edie Falco's white.
Well, but you got Bokeem Woodbine, and I'm just saying, like, it's not all white.
So now I need to have
Another fun fact: no black people in this movie at all. Not a person of color.
There's
not a
not,
single person.
and up until Wendell Pierce, there was not a person of color in any of it.
What decade did Wendell Pierce's version take place in? How did they do
40s.
that?
It's never changed.
They still kept it in the 40s.
Never changed. You can't. It's not allowed.
Interesting.
Boy, Biff. I need somebody. Oh man, I need somebody real young. I want Biff to be young. Nah, maybe I can't play him younger. Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to be Biff.
You bitch. That was one of my choices.
Yeah.
But okay.
You're gonna make him happy.
Not as Biff though. Yeah, I was gonna make him happy. I would have made him happy. I don't really. Lin-Manuel is cool for certain things I've seen him in.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll make him happy.
But for me, I feel like he's a happy. I don't think he could. I haven't seen him with the gravitas of John Malkovich. I just can't see it, and that's what I'm comparing it to because that's all I know. Of this play.
Boy, and then Biff. I wonder if I can make it Lin-Manuel Miranda, because Lin-Manuel Miranda is Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have a little reunion. It's gonna be John David Washington, not John David Washington. No, I'm sorry. Fucking guy was in Hamilton. Who am I thinking of? Is it John David Washington? No, it's not.
You talking about his The other guy that's only known from that.
Yeah.
Well, there's also Anthony Ramos.
No.
He was in Hamilton, the smaller guy.
No.
You're talking about the David Diggs.
David Diggs, yes.
David Diggs, yeah,
Yeah.
David Diggs.
Because I know he can act.
He's good.
I
He's
know
good.
he. I
like
know he
David
can
Diggs.
act. So I'm trying something real different there. My
Yeah,
alternate.
he's good.
My alternate Willie Loman is William H Macy. That's my alternate. But
That's fun.
yeah. Go ahead.
That's fun. So I got for William, I got John Bernthal.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
But he would be good. He would be good though.
Okay.
But not John Bernthal. I have John Leguizamo for
You got to
for
stop,
William.
bro. You got to stop it.
I
gotta stop.
feel like
No.
I feel like, and we both have said this before.
Get a new Spanish guy.
When he goes really, I don't know any. You know what?
Come on, he ain't
I
gonna
do
do
have
it.
another one. I do have another one. Luis Guzman.
So I would like to see that. I just don't know that he could.
It's gonna be listen. This version is a Bronx version, so it's Luis Guzman, Luna Lauren Velez,
Okay.
who was Detective Nina Moreno in New York Undercover.
I know who that was.
Justice Smith will be Biff.
I don't know who Justice Smith is though.
He was in The Get Down. He was the kid from The Get Down. I don't know if you saw that show on Netflix.
I didn't see that. Everybody told me it was really good.
He was the kid from Pikachu Detective.
Oh,
He's
yeah?
been in a lot of like rom-coms. He was most recently in the American Society of Magical Negroes that was in the theaters for like 2 weeks.
Well, I have to say, I saw the title and I was like,
yeah,
what is it? I want to know.
I saw it. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
People really got turned off by that title.
That title was right up my alley.
It was because I thought it was going to be, which it wasn't, which it could have been, but it didn't. I thought it was going to be Harry Potter meets Dear White People, which would have been interesting. But it was still satire, but the optics were bad because, yes, it was about, this black man learning to not have to curtsy and, worry about white people's feelings and yada, yada, yada. But it's also a rom-com. The woman that he was chasing after was ethnically ambiguous. She looked like a white chick, but they said it. There was a line in the movie that told you that she was not actually white, but you wouldn't really be able to tell. So it's like the optics were bad that he was doing. It was kind of funny, but also kind of like meh. You know what I'm saying? It was just meh. It was just meh. If they were going to do it, they should have just did it in a much more harsher way, I think, comedy wise. Just balls to the wall type of. If you're going to do a balls to the wall title, then get gritty with the dialogue and the plot. Don't be soft. It can't be a soft ass rom com. It was pussy. Anyway,
Happy.
Justice Smith as Biff. Happy. I had Lin-Manuel for Happy. Who else did I have for Happy? I had an alternate. I don't remember. And yeah, so that's the four I had. I didn't cast anybody else.
Yeah, me neither.
But another casting I had would be Denzel, John David Washington, for the mother, it would be a Viola Davis, so another Fences reunion, and for Happy, you can kind of just slide anybody in there. Really, I didn't really give that much thought. For Happy, I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't really give that one too much thought when it came to that, but I thought that would be just hearing two people that sound exactly alike would be funny.
Yeah.
Denzel and John David Washington sound like he could do a voiceover for each other and shit.
Well, okay. So we would recommend. So I'm going to recommend this
Highly.
if you haven't seen it. I'm going to recommend it. If you know the play and you've seen other versions of this, but you just haven't seen this one, I'm not going to recommend it. But if you have not even heard of Death of a Salesman, which poo on you, then I think you should definitely watch this. Yeah.
So,
Do you have any idea what we're doing next week, Don?
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Question.
Go ahead.
Pertaining to that. So we have the list that you sent me with some ideas, right?
Yeah. Well,
Obviously,
this was more for me. I thought you were going to come up with your own list.
why would I do that? You made a list.
I don't know.
I could. I'll look. I'll check it out. But are we talking about, in what order does it have to be? Does it have to be stage play that went to film, or can it be films that turn into stage play? It can't be the reverse. Okay. And obviously, you put Fences here. We're talking about 70s Fences.
Oh, we're talking about. I think Fences was written in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, 60s, right? But we're talking about what's his name? Big guy, Darth Vader.
James Earl Jones.
You're talking about James Earl Jones Fences, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of into that. I think that might be my choice. That kind of might be my choice.
Okay, cool. I'm down for that.
James Earl Jones Fences.
I love that.
Sounds like a good ass idea.
And then I'll let you all know that after that. So we're gonna be doubling
Color
up.
Girls Who Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Wasn't Enough. What year was that?
I don't know that it does fit because there is one that is a stage production. If we can find it, I think that was in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
It does fit. If we have to find it though. So we're gonna be doubling up on Dustin Hoffman here because we're going to be doing American Buffalo as my other one, and that's Dustin Hoffman, Dennis Franz, and Sean. Who was the kid from Fresh? Sean.
Fresh. Oh man, I don't remember.
Yeah, but it's.
I know the guys. I know their faces, but
can't remember his name. Sean. Can't remember his name. But it's a 3-man movie, and it's David Mamet's American Buffalo.
Oh, now I remember why I asked the question.
Go ahead.
12 Angry Men. Was that a stage play first? That's going to be my other choice. 12 Angry Men. I actually adore that movie.
Okay. The one from 56?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's that, and there's also, because I've never seen it, or at least I haven't seen it in a long time, To Kill a Mockingbird. I haven't seen that in a long time either.
That's a book.
Not a stage play? Was never made into a stage play. That's why I know it was made into it. There was definitely stage plays of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, but it's a book.
But that's the reverse, right?
Yeah.
It was a stage play after the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but 12 Angry Men was before the movie. Good. All right. So that's my other choice. So that's the lineup for the rest of the month, folks.
Yeah.
Fences next week, followed by
American Buffalo.
And then ending it off with 12 Angry Men.
Wow.
That's some good running the gamut of the decades. That's a good spread.
A good month.
Very excited for that.
Yeah, and hopefully the others hold up the way I remember them because I've seen them all. So hopefully they hold up the way I remember them. This, sadly, for me personally, it's just because of Dustin Hoffman. It's not what you gave it, which I would have given it, like I said, when I was in high school 20 years ago. It's fucking a 4.8 for me then. Now, it's just because of Hoffman. Everybody else is great, so I gave it a 3.7. But see it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's another episode of We'll Fix It in Post. That's movie reviews. I'm Don Vega. That's Joe Barbarian.
Yep.
We will see you next week. We will see you next week. Sometime next week.
Yeah, probably.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and comments, and all that stuff in the videos.
Yeah.
This will be out tonight. Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's going to be tonight, tomorrow morning.
Tonight, tomorrow. One of these days.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah, you'll see it. You'll watch it.